Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with our Eibar Career Mode episode 10, coming to near the end of this season. I think we just have a couple more episodes to wrap everything up before we head on into the next season. This 3 games, I believe, first game against Deportiv, which, as you guys have seen in previous episodes, I never do well against. They were the team that I lost to in the Cup in the round of, I believe, 32, I think it was. For whatever reason, even though they're the last team in the league, I can never seem to beat them. So coming into this game a little worried, to be honest, but at the same time should have a little more confidence because we are the better team at the end of the day. But for whatever reason, they just psych me out a little bit, and I just can't seem to get anything going against them. So definitely a worrisome game, to say the least, as you guys are going to see here in the 3rd minute. I mean, they're already passing all over me, working the ball in and out, and I can't seem to get a touch of the ball, and I knew this was going to be basically the telling of the game. My defense just opened straight up for them, and they score right there in the 4th minute of the game, and we do go 1-0 down. So at this point, honestly, my confidence is shook. I'm thinking, if I lose this game, I don't even know if I'm going to still be the manager for this club. Because when you lose the double against the worst team in the league in the first half of the season, second half of the season, and in the Cup on aggregate, I think it was 5-1 or 5-0. It doesn't look good, no matter how you put it. No matter where I place in the league, I think I would actually get sacked for that. So definitely worrisome all the way around. But at the end of the day, I think we're doing good with this career mode. As you guys are going to see here, a pretty ugly red card, which actually kind of gives me a little more hope coming into this game. But overall, I think we're doing pretty good with this career mode. Like I did say, we are coming to the end of the season, and just as a little comparison, I think I was matching up pretty well with the real life results in the La Liga as with the career mode. Around this point, it is January 14th as I'm recording this. Eibar are 6th in the league, pretty tight table like it was for us. So as of right now, I think as this game is going on, we were in, I believe, 9th. A little more disappointing, and hopefully we can pick up a few points here coming in the end, because I know the table is still pretty tight, so we could still as easily get up to 6th place in the league again. 5th and 6th is probably the closest we're going to get. I don't think we're going to get any higher than that. Real Madrid, I believe, is still sitting in that 5th spot, and Barcelona and Atletico Madrid are actually running away with it at this point. So as you guys are going to see, coming to the end of the first half, just one last chance trying to get the ball out to Inui. A beautiful change of pitch and going off to the other side. Just trying to work our way back into the box and get some sort of shot off, but I wasn't able to get it past the defender, and the keeper came out and collected it. So going into the second half, still 1-0 down. I was still feeling confident, though, because they did have that man down, so I did have an advantage regardless. But in terms of the team, we have the leading goal scorer in Harjovic. He'll always be probably that player for me that I'm definitely going to try to re-sign him. I mean, there's no doubt about it. When you're the top scorer in the league, it is going to make it difficult, though. It's going to make it incredibly difficult for me to sign him. A little glitch in the gameplay. You're not going to actually see the goal until the highlight. But nonetheless, we did get a very nice worked goal. Just a lot of hustle in the squad to give us this shot. A little poor goalkeeping near post is always going to be the OP post. So, managed to get a goal back there, which had me in a very good spot. If I was going to draw this game, it was going to be a little disappointing, but it's a lot better than losing a game like it did in the first half of the season. Giving away a beautiful free kick opportunity here for them in the later stages of the game had me a little worried, but we were able to save it off of the line with our keeper, and we kind of work our way back into the game a little bit here. So, like I was saying with how La Liga's going right now, the squad's doing pretty good. There's a lot of differences in the squad that I've been playing and doing well with versus the squad that has been doing well in real life. Borja, as you guys have obviously noticed, I don't play like at all, but I'm pretty sure he's the leading goal scorer right now for Eibar, which is which is great, don't get me wrong. And Hardrovic doesn't even have a goal in real life, but he really doesn't get that much gameplay either. I believe he had a red card earlier this season. Inouye's still playing a good bit, not too much though. I want to say that he's only started less than 10 games, and I think he's only gotten 1 goal this season. I have been keeping up a good bit with this squad because over the past couple of years I have become a pretty big fan of the team, in all honesty. Obviously, when you're rooting for a team in La Liga, it's kind of hard not to root for Barcelona and Real Madrid. But it's definitely a team that I've grown an attachment to, and I'll definitely be following for years to come. And I obviously playing FIFA this season gives me kind of my favorite player, so it is a little disappointing to see Inouye and Hardrovic not playing in the actual starting squad, not actually getting goals as much as I've had them getting goals. But Borja's been doing incredible, which kind of has me second guessing myself and not playing him in this squad. Obviously we do lose him at the end of the season. I believe he already signed his pre-contract during the last transfer window, so at the end of the day we're going to lose him regardless. But the team's been working out pretty well. After winning this game, I think we were still in 8th, if not 9th place, but it did tighten the table a little bit. There were a lot of games played, differences between the different teams in the league. We go into a little bit of training here, and training's been going really well. I will be doing a squad update here in the next episode, I believe, just to kind of show you how all the players have grown. Villalba obviously growing a lot. Dragov Squits also doing well as our keeper, progressing. I believe he's up 4 points from what he was when we signed him. Iheanacho also doing well, already going to be at, I believe, a 70 or 71. Isaiah Brown progressing, not as fast as I was hoping for, but still progressing nonetheless. As you guys see here, I do move Bergeron onto the bench, the full-on bench, because every time I play him, he's just not performing well for me, so I went ahead and brought a defender onto my bench just in case if I got a red card, I'd be able to deal with the situation. Coming into this game, another game I was pretty confident in winning, a little bit closer in the table though. I believe we are sitting in 8th. It is going to show it here on the screen in a second. We're sitting in 8th or 9th, and they're a little bit further down in the league. They're in 13th, we are in 8th. So as you see, the table is getting closer. There's still a couple games here and there that need to be played for some of the teams. Like I said, Hardrovic is our leading goal scorer in the team and in the league, so really good to see that he's still been able to keep up with his goal tallies. Here in the 8th minute though, beautiful goal, near post, OP post, whatever you want to call it, haunts me after it helps me in the last game. So a little disappointing to go down that early. You guys are going to see in this game a couple yellow cards. It was a very card heavy episode, this one will be, especially in the next game. You guys are going to see some crazy stuff going on. My set pieces are still a little disappointing. Definitely need to get back into the habit of scoring and doing well off of set pieces like I was in the first half of the season. I don't know what I need to change, but nothing's really seemed to be working for me recently, and it would definitely give me a lot more opportunities to score, which I definitely need to be doing coming into the second season. Ryan Gauld actually picked up a little bit of a injury a few minutes before this goal comes through by Danny Garcia, which this goal, by the way, made me realize I need to get the ball to him more often. In the first half of the season, when I was getting him the ball, he was scoring and giving our team opportunities to take leads or to tie games. So obviously him sitting back in that CDM spot doesn't really give me too many opportunities to get him the ball, but when he does, I can basically shoot from just right outside the box and have a pretty good shot on goal. As you see here, shooting across the keeper and scoring a goal for us right before halftime, tying up the game and giving us a good opportunity to kind of take the lead in the second half, hopefully. So definitely good to see Danny Garcia playing well. Obviously, you know, a little bit earlier in the season he was saying that he wanted to leave the squad, but then I played him more often. We were doing better in the league, and he actually decided to kind of turn around and take his comments back and stay within the squad, which is good to see. So in between this episode and the last episode, I did give contracts to a lot of players, kind of just rebuffing up the squad, making sure that we don't lose anybody or lose too many players for the start of the next transfer window and the start of the next season. So, you know, Luna and Kappa and all these players, just giving them new contracts, making sure that they have enough time on their contracts that it doesn't hurt me in the long run. So maybe not starting players after the next transfer window, but definitely good squad players to have regardless. But talking about this gameplay a little bit, it was a bit of a midfield battle. There were definitely opportunities, and it was a lot of running box to box between the two of us, but we could never really seem to get anything going later on in the game. We would get the ball down there and then immediately lose the ball by a really good tackle nonetheless, but a tackle right out on the outside of the box or right inside the box, and then they would counter attack and go straight down the field. It definitely opened up and created a pretty exciting game. The crossing just really wasn't good for either one of us, and it kind of just put us in a position where neither one of us were really doing that well. So I was really just trying to get myself opportunities to get corners and hopefully try to just cause some chaos in the box and get a goal, as you see there. Another opportunity to score a goal, I believe that was Escalante, but he also was not able to score a goal for us. So here in the 90th minute, closing out the game, we are going to tie this game 1-1. A little disappointing. Definitely wanted to grab those points and move up in the table, but we weren't able to. So we will be moving on in the league. Still, I believe, sitting in that 8th position, still getting a point, which actually I think puts us level with a few other teams coming into this next game. But like I was saying, I think the middle of the table is still looking pretty good. I'm just about out of harm's way to drop into 9th or 10th, I think, at this point. So top 8 finish, I believe, is where I'm going for sure to be at the end of the season, with only a couple games left, and definitely still have the opportunity to jump up, I believe, at least into 6th or 7th place. So definitely want to do that. Another training session in between games here. This one will allow us to progress players a little bit more, but nobody really moves up in their overall ratings. Iheanacho, I believe, actually moved up from 70 to 71 in between games, or during the last game. So good to see him continuing to grow. Hopefully we can get him to about a 74 rating before the start of next season. I mean, that would be ideal, definitely. And definitely still want to be trying to bring in another striker for the next start of the season. Going through my scouting reports, I know it's a little controversial, kind of like cutting out these players that aren't 90 or above with their potentials, but honestly it's because once you sign them, that range is just going to keep shrinking. So if you're sitting on that edge of 88, that's just going to keep shrinking, especially when it's like 66 to 88 or something. It's just going to keep shrinking, and you're going to end up with some like maybe low 80 rated player. So nothing too exciting there. I was kind of playing with the wages a little bit, obviously just trying to make sure that I did have enough money if anybody came to me asking for a new contract or for more money, which I believe Einrich did, which I don't know if I plan on actually giving him any more money, just because he really hasn't been playing for me. He hasn't really proved a reason for me to give him more money. If he keeps asking in the future and he gets a little unhappy, maybe I will look into it, or I'll just sell him off in the next window, one of the two, depending on how things go for us. Coming into this last game, though, it is against Real Betis, and obviously our ex-defender coming up against us. A little ironic, obviously, coming up against him, especially with the defender issues I've been having in the team. With how I just can't seem to get Pontic to get out of his rut, and whenever I play Dos Santos, he's just not doing well for me. So overall, just kind of an odd feeling in the squad, and wasn't really sure what to think. This was the game, though, that you guys are going to see more than goal highlights. I put a majority of foul highlights in here, because it just seemed like it just kept happening. Like neither team could get away from getting a card or getting a foul. This ref was incredibly difficult to play with, and it was actually honestly one of the worst games that I've played with a referee. Usually, you know, they cause a little bit of problems, but it's nothing like this, and you guys are going to see throughout this game that we just had problems. Both of us kind of got down the field pretty well, like the end of that Sporting Eon game. We could get down the field, but we really couldn't get anywhere. As you guys are going to see here, I do lose Dos Santos to a red card. Now watch the replay of this foul, and if you see something I don't, feel free to leave a comment below, but I don't understand why I get a yellow card, especially a second yellow card to put me on a red. Don't understand it at all. I lose my center back. We have to readjust the squad a little bit. I believe I brought in Ruben Neves to play at center back and then took out Ryan Gauld. Yeah, Ruben Neves comes in to play center back. Ryan Gauld comes out. I'm playing without a center attacking mid, just kind of going to see how the game goes. Definitely playing a man down obviously is going to be difficult, but nonetheless, I think it puts me in the best position, because that center attacking mid position is not too important if I am going to play a man down. A little disappointing here that Harjrovic couldn't get that onto his more dominant foot and had to shoot that with his weak foot and put it wide. Definitely a disappointing finish all the way around, especially right there at the end of the half. Wanted to go into the half with a 1-0 lead, but we do go into the half at 0-0 tie. Definitely has me a little bit worried going into the second half, because like I said, with playing a man down, you don't really want to play against a reinvigorated squad, re-staminaed squad, because you do get a little bit more of that stamina boost going into the second half. So had me a little bit worried. They don't really have many pacey players. Real Betis is a lot better with focusing on their defense, in my opinion. If their defense is struggling, the team's just going to struggle all the way around. So they're definitely more of a sit-back squad and just kind of try to work the ball through possession and maybe get a good opportunity here and there. But as you guys are going to keep seeing in this game, I think my team ended with like 5 yellow cards. Their team ended up with like 4. Obviously, I had a red card as well. It was just a bad situation all the way around for both squads. Kappa gets a yellow card. Both of my center defensive mids, I believe, also get yellow cards. My left back's on a yellow card, obviously losing a center back. Just awful games. Couldn't break down their defense. Couldn't figure anything out, really. And I was thinking here, if what I did was a second yellow that warranted a red, how is that not a red running through the back of my midfielder with Xavi Torres? And this, obviously playing a man down, your defenders aren't in the right position, so I just kind of pass it to my phantom left back that obviously wasn't going to be there. Ended up giving the ball away and had to pull down the defender and got another yellow card. So I end up with a defender, 2 center defensive mids, a right mid, and a left back, all on cards of varying horribleness, I guess. Just a lot of bad calls, in my opinion. If one thing's going to be a red card, then the exact same foul or a worse foul should also be a red card. This game, honestly, in my opinion, should have just been brought down to a much more defined, like, 9 versus 9 game, where both of us should have just had 9 players on the pitch with like 2 red cards each. Just a hard game all the way around to play, especially coming to near the end of the season. As you see, we are in May now. So like I said, I think I only have 2 or 3 games left before I go into that second season. Second season's definitely going to be exciting, but definitely want to be pushing for that Europa League spot, I hope. I mean, like I said, I'm still a little undecided if I really want that Europa League spot, but at the end of the day, you want to finish as high in the table as you can. So coming to the end of the game, I try to work around the box a little bit more to get another opportunity. A little bit of a cry for a penalty right there that I kind of wish I would have gotten, but at the end of the day, I think looking back on it, I should have passed that ball off one more time to Iheanacho. One more strike that honestly was a beautiful hit, and I honestly thought was going to go into the back of the net, but defender there to block it off and didn't give me the opportunity I needed. So this game is going to come down to a 0-0 draw. So only 3 points from the episode, but a solid 3 points nonetheless, and still keeps us in a healthy 8th place position that I think I can move up pretty well in. This series is definitely going better points-wise than and defending-wise than my other series, League of Champions rather. If you guys haven't checked out that series, go ahead and look on my channel. I started it a couple days ago. We have 2 episodes up right now. It's basically the best 24 teams in the world that I put based on a list that is out right now. 24 teams in a tournament setting, league setting. We're going to play every team twice. I'm using Arsenal as the center point, basically just talking about real life football throughout, depending on what team I play in that episode. So definitely check that out. Make sure you stay tuned for more episodes in this series. And like I said, end of the season coming. Can't wait to get that second season started. We'll see how I go. One more training session at the end of the game here brings our keeper up to a 74 rating, and Iheanacho progresses a little bit, has 74 finishing now, so definitely a good position to be in coming to the end of the season. So until then, I'll see you guys later.